All right, this is gonna be how I would 3D print with the Ender V3, and it's basically gonna be geared towards one person in mind. But if you watch this and you get help from it, that's just a plus. So I would always use the Thingiverse, but there's other programs, of course, you could use. But let's say if we wanted to print this, so you double click on it, and of course it would come up like this. And then from here, scroll down, and you're gonna need to already pre-install Cura, the program Cura. And I would click on this right here, and it would open up Cura, which usually it would take a minute, and it has the objects loaded in. So in here, you can see the red. Red is indicating that it doesn't have any supports because you can't print in mid-air without something solid underneath it. So on this object, supports are going to be important. So we're going to focus our attention in this square under print settings, and all the way down is support. We're going to open that up and hit generate supports with a check mark. But then you have options, normal and tree. And the good thing about Cura is pretty much everything will be discussed if you hover over it. So tree and normal supports, if we go here, so this would be considered a normal support, just like this, and a tree support would literally be like that. And in my opinion, I haven't found one better than the other. I think tree uses less filament, can give more support or more unique support than just straight supports. So we want that clicked on, and then infill density is of course of how much is it going to be 100% solid plastic, or what's the percentage, and then you get options from there of what shape of infill it's going to be. There's discussions and websites that talk all about that, and usually I would just pick grid or triangle, something like that. Turn off the radio. And then printing speed, 60 is kind of like the standard, 50 would be a standard. The higher you go, of course, the faster it prints, but then also the sloppier it gets. And from here, what would be important is you want to make sure you name it something legible. So I would do something like that. Because that's going to show up on your 3D printer on your Ender 3. And if you have a lot of gibberish in there, it's not going to make sense to you when you go to look for it. I've even shorthand stuff like that. All right, so from here, once you picked the infill density and your supports, you can click on the object, click on it, and you can change the size of it. So right here, you can see in millimeters how tall it's going to be with the Z-axis. Well, let's say if you want the whole thing to be 50% smaller, you can just type in 50%, and boom, the whole thing got smaller. And of course, there's multiple options in here. You can go around and play with it. So if we hit slice, it's going to think about how we would want to 3D print this. Sorry for moving the camera. And depending on the settings that you picked, it's going to determine the print time. And this is an estimated. So it's estimating 1 hour and 42 minutes. Well, let's put it back to 100%. And let's see what it thinks now. I would like to add also, when you set up Cura, you pick your printer and the nozzle, infill density, supports are on, the quality. So look, it's taking even a little bit longer now because we put it back at 100%. Well, while that's doing that, let's talk about testing support. So when you're new, it's not a bad idea to do a testing support. So something like this will tell you what axis may have a problem by Z, Y, and X. And same thing as like the last one. You can hit File, find it, open it in Cura, slow down the whole computer. Load up a new one. I really don't want to edit this video. I just want to upload it all in one go. Boom, 6 hours and 52 minutes. Crazy. Okay, so from here, so I have a micro USB plugged in to the computer right here. It gives me the option to save and remove. I'm gonna click on that, and it tells me it went to the micro USB. There's that test print. If you right click, you can spin it around and zoom in and out, of course, with a scroll. So I'm gonna open up the micro USB port E or whatever it's called, and there's the G code. So then from here, I would exit out, tell the computer to let go of that. Alright, and my USB port's a little messed up, so I'm going to have to use a tool, push on it. And then from here, you insert this with the gold pieces up into the printer and go find it with the little spinning wheel. Hope that helps.